Hi, and welcome to the K-Files. Good morning, everybody, again. Good morning, JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra.
Glad to have you here. So this morning I told you, I told you last week, I wanted to talk about an award that you got. I mean, not that I was amazed because, it was well deserved, and I figured something like this should happen to you, but didn't know it was going to be exactly to the magnitude of what it was. So anyway, what happened?
I was actually shocked, excited, or what have you. I found out that back in, I believe it was November, I was nominated by Senator Lisa Barnes, House Representative Winslow, and House Representative Chesner.
Wow.
To receive the Old North State Award, and this was issued July 2nd by Governor Roy Cooper.
Wow.
I for 20 plus years I've helped with the Boy Scouts in my community. I've been a Scoutmaster, assistant Scoutmaster since I was 18 years old.
Wow.
I love my community. Love the youth.
That's always good to hear.
I love my job. Like your viewers know, for 27 years I was in law enforcement, retired North Carolina State Trooper, absolutely loved my job. Loved doing things to make my community, like I've said, a safer place to live, work, and raise a family.
Right.
And I was recognized for it, and I was, shocked, pleasantly surprised, and extremely happy.
Well, I guess you were, and that is very nice. That is a very nice plaque there. And it's really, it really makes you feel good when your peers are that of, state representatives, senators, of that, that really makes you feel good that people like that would nominate you. And then it really makes you feel good that the governor would honor that.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, and I didn't know this was going to happen or play out the way it did, I got a phone call from the mayor of Middlesex, and he's like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" I said, "Man, I'm just out here in the shop tinkering around, doing a few things." He said, "Look, I'm going to ride out there and see you." I said, "Come on." So he rode there to the house, and
Did you think it was strange that the mayor was coming to see you?
Well, no, because we're good friends. We vacation together and go places together and things like that.
Okay.
But it was odd. It was during the work day. So he pulls up and he's standing there, and we're talking about first one thing and another. And I noticed he's kind of semi-dressed up, and I said, "Is something going on?" He's like, "Look, Alan Chesner's on the way, and they've got your certificate, and they want to award it to you." I said, "Man, I'm out here in shorts, a ball cap, I'm in my shop." And I think what happened, it was the day of the tornado.
Okay.
So it was kind of a shake-up. Everybody was kind of at a place that had planned to stop by the house to do a formal presentation. I think they were going to try to lure me to the town hall, and it just didn't work logistically because of what was unfolding here in Rocky Mount, and it's understandable. But we were able to take a few photos of the mayor and Representative Chesner presenting it. That's in my shop. That's Lou Harvey on the right. Chesner is in the suit. But I was very appreciative, shocked, and ironically, it's issued on July 2nd, which is my birthday.
Really?
Yeah. What's the odds of that? But
wow. Well, look at that. That is very nice.
Classy.
And I know that, well, congratulations. That is a big honor. It really is, and well deserved. So you were a trooper for 27 years. Wow.
Loved my job. Well, I worked a year in Middlesex. Then I went to work with Jimmy Grimes and Nash County Sheriff's Office for 2 years. And I
So
worked
that's your
with the
30
state.
years.
Yeah.
So you got your 30 years in. Wow. Yeah, I wondered when you said 27 years, I didn't think about the service and other agencies that you were at. So, well, that is great.
It helps me pay the bills.
Absolutely. So, well, that is good, and we're glad that you're a part of the K-Files. This is still a public service that you are doing. You want to see neighborhoods safer, you want to see our community safer, and you want to solve crime. So that's what we're about on K-Files.
And you know, just touching on something one of your callers said a while ago about different things bringing crime to an area, and I'll leave it vague like that. Look at Dollar General, look at Walmart, look at what's going on in these locations across the country at your local Walgreens, your local department stores, Gucci, what have you. People are just walking into stores, filling up shopping carts of tools. Look at Lowe's in Raleigh, look at Home Depot in Raleigh. They're filling up carts of items and walking right out of the door.
They are.
And nobody's doing anything to stop it.
No.
Nobody. Law enforcement's been told, handle these people with fur gloves. Loss prevention people have been told by corporations, let them leave. DAs in a lot of these jurisdictions are taking a baby approach, you know, pop your hand approach of don't do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Look, if people are not held accountable for their actions severely, and I mean punished, it's only going to spiral out of control worse than what it is right now.
Absolutely.
Take the casino out, it has nothing to do with it. If you don't hold these people accountable in your neighborhood, the crime is only going to spiral out of control.
Well, if you don't punish your children,
that's right.
And you don't start from the get-go, it gets worse and worse, and then they do something bigger and bigger, and it just goes on. If you don't get a handle on them from the beginning. And
That's
it's
right.
the
It's
same
discipline.
way.
It's discipline.
It's discipline. And not punishing, that's not the answer. But I understand the corporations don't want an employee to get hurt. And they know if they chase them, and there's been some employees that have chased.
Got killed.
And yes, and so, you know, but law enforcement needs to really, really do something, bear down on this. They really do.
See, sadly, politics gets involved at these departments. Politics gets involved with the elected DAs and the judges.
Right.
And, I mean, look at what's happening with what I call cash bonds or bonds. In New York, pretty much anything you get arrested for, they're not going to put you in jail. They're going to turn you right back out.
Right. I can't
You know,
believe their posture on that.
Oh, and it's growing. It's
Well,
growing.
yeah, absolutely. And, you know, if they don't get a handle on their situation.
It forces the public to be put into a position of being afraid and them taking matters into their own hand to protect their, protect their family.
Yeah.
Because the criminal justice system is failing them.
You're right. You're exactly right. Well, anyway, and somebody the other day, I forgot what company was it? I can't remember. But they said maybe it was Walmart. I don't think it was Walmart. But they said we're losing $1 million a year.
I bet you it's more than that. It's probably per location.
How long can you stand that? How long can you stand that?
Because at some point, an insurance company's going to come to them and say, your store in Rocky Mount, shut it.
Yes.
Look at QVC right here in Rocky Mount. QVC said, we're coming back, we're building, we're going to build right back. Politicians got on TV and said, QVC is here to stay. And their insurance carrier said, no, you're not.
That's right.
The insurance carrier said, you're not building that store back in Rocky Mount. And it was over. It was the end of the story.
Golly day. Well, I mean, we lost how many jobs because
of crime.
people
No matter
that
how you
want
want
to commit crimes.
Crime.
It's awful.
Crime run QVC out of Rocky Mount.
It's terrible. Terrible. Well, and I forgot where it was that they had stacks and stacks and stacks of, and took what was it they stole out of I was going to talk about that this morning too. And if I think of it, we'll bring it back up. But anyway, just stacks and stacks of stuff, just left with it, didn't pay for it.
Go on Marketplace on Facebook and type in Milwaukee tool or new tool in the box. Look at the number of tools, brand new, still in the box, that these people are selling. Dirt cheap prices, dirt cheap. And what it is, it's where these people have been to Lowe's or Home Depot or Walmart and took these big ticket items, these $400, $500, $600 tools, and walked right out of the door, and nobody did anything to stop them. And now they're selling them on Marketplace for a fraction of the cost. And it's not just them, it's detergent, it's pretty much any item you can think of. They're selling it on Amazon, they're selling it on Marketplace, and they realize, nobody's gonna hold them accountable for their actions, and it just continues.
That's pretty much it. So, okay, well, we've already got to take a break. Before we get into our cases, let's go ahead and pay the bills, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the K-Files. We'll get into our cases now. We'll start with, and don't forget, y'all, 406-6736 is the hotline number. We also have 977-1111, Twin County Crime Stoppers. We have text to tip, which will get up. There you go, right there. Pernell, you do a good job. He's right on the button. 274-637, text to tip. There's all kinds of ways. Or call the agency. If you call law enforcement, period. If you know somebody in law enforcement, it doesn't matter. Call somebody. It's going to be anonymous. We're not going to know who you are. We're just up here trying to advocate that we need tips. We desperately need tips to solve these crimes. You are the ultimate best solver of crimes. You really are. Because somebody knows something about every single case.
Every case in this book could be solved today.
It could.
If just one person would come forward and give a tip in each one.
Yes.
I believe that.
And really, you should feel kind of guilty if guilt may be bothering you. Hey, I know I need to do this for the family, because we need to give families closure. I mean, imagine what they go through day in and day out, and holidays. I mean, a lot of these cases we see happen on holidays. And imagine what they go through. So, and it's time to get these people off the street before you're the next culprit. So, anyway, if you can help us, we would greatly appreciate it, and we'll give you some money, up to $15,000 in cash, very quickly, within a couple of days. You will have money in hand, and it's upon arrest. It's not upon conviction. So, what more can I say? We need your help.
And a lot of these cases have additional funds from family or the governor's office or from the state.
Yeah, when you add that in, there's several cases in this book that have additional monies that a particular agency is given. So, okay, we'll start with James Lynch Richardson.
Okay, the first case here is from August the 9th, 2011. James Lynch Richardson. Around 12:41 a.m., Rocky Mount Police received a call in reference to a suspicious event at Duke Mobile Home Park on Raleigh Road in Rocky Mount. When they arrived, a person had stated that his neighbor, James Richardson, who was 56, was lying in the front doorway and bleeding. The investigation discovered that the residence was in disarray consistent with a struggle, and that there was a large amount of blood in the living room area. Mr. Richardson appeared to have been trying to flee the residence, and he was beaten and stabbed.
Wow.
So it sounds like possibly a home invasion.
Yes, it does.
A fight ensued, a struggle. The residence was in disarray as a result of the fight or the struggle. He had appeared to, he was trying to get away, and he was beaten and stabbed and left for dead.
What a shame. And, we've said many times on this show that it can't be much worse than a home invasion. You're, murdered from a home invasion. I mean, it's very scary. But anyway, laying in his front door and bleeding. I mean, looks like he was beaten and stabbed. Gracious. Well, Duke Mobile Home Park, we've talked about this before, is kind of close to what used to be the Westgate Nursing Home, right there on the left. There is it's Ravenwood, right there on the left is Ravenwood, and then there's a convenience store, which that robbery is in this book as well, and right across is the Duke Mobile Home Park where this took place. So if you know anything, 12:41 a.m. So this is a Rocky Mount Police case. If you know anything about this, please say something. If you see something, say something. 56 years old, this man should not have lost his life.
There's a lot of crime in that area, because if I'm not
Yes.
badly mistaken, that's going to be the same Holloman store where Mr. Holloman got murdered.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Kind of right across the street.
Yeah, right across the
Kinda
street from it.
Catty cornered across the street. So if you know anything about James Lynch Richardson, please help us out. This was from 2011.
August 9th, 2011,
Mhm.
12:41 in the morning. This next case is a Halifax County case, Jeffrey Cotton. Jeffrey Cotton. It's from 8/13/2011. Halifax County deputies responded at Club Dreams on Highway 158 in Littleton around 1:45 a.m. in reference to a disturbance where shots had been fired. Deputies found Jeffrey Cotton of Weldon suffering from gunshot wounds. He later died from his injuries.
Wow.
Jeffrey Cotton, August 13th, 2011, 1:45 a.m. at Club Dreams on Highway 158 Littleton.
I don't know that much about Littleton. I've never heard of Club Dreams, but you know, when you go into a club, you kind of take a risk. You never know, or I don't know if he started a fight or somebody started a fight with him, but you know, when people are drinking, and they normally are at a club like that, and they drink too much, well, things happen.
Is the club still going in Rocky Mount?
The boat ride?
The boat ride, or the boat
Yes.
ride. Okay,
Yes.
that is
That's been a spot of just constant trouble. But anyway, yes, I hear about things going on there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, if you know anything about this case, Jeffrey Cotton, I don't remember this one in the past. I think this might be a new
I think
one
it's a
in
new
our
edition.
book.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, if you know anything, please say something. Okay, we've got a little bit more detail on the
Yeah.
next one.
This next case is from September 12th, 2011. Jermaine Latre Flowers. Jermaine Latre Flowers. Flowers was killed in a shooting at 737 Sunset Avenue in Rocky Mount around 11:30 p.m. Jermaine was in the home, which was occupied by 15 other people at the time.
Are you kidding me?
One other person was injured in the shooting. Per the police, 13 rounds were fired into the home. Several bullet holes were found in the walls. An unknown male between 5'8" and 5'10", wearing a blue shirt, dark pants, was seen running from the area towards Western Avenue.
You know, all I can say is this was targeted.
Absolutely.
I mean, no doubt about it. 13 rounds,
15 people.
15 people in the house, somebody's going to get hit.
Yeah.
I don't know if the intended person got hit, but somebody is going to get hit with that many people in a house. And if you know anything about Jermaine Latre Flowers, I think this is another new one I hadn't heard
Yeah,
of.
I don't remember this case either.
So September 12th, 2011, if you know anything, you know where Western Avenue is, and this is where he was running. Western Avenue is just one of the streets, you know, that run adjacent to, well, crosses Sunset Avenue. So, I don't know exactly which block, but anyway, if you know anything, there's the hotline number. Please call one of the numbers. You can call the police department. This is another Rocky Mount Police Department case. A lot of these are, because Rocky Mount does seem to have more cases than, you know, the Edgecombe County or Nash County or Halifax County. So a lot of these are Rocky Mount cases, but if you know anything, please say something. The suspect was between 5 feet and 8 inches. 5'8" and 5'10". Mm-hmm.
He was tall, wearing a blue shirt, dark pants, and seen running from the area. You would think that out of 15 people,
Yeah.
hopefully some of them could have identified who he looked like he might have been, or
I know.
you know.
All right. Bessie Marie Vinson.
Bessie Marie Vinson. This case is from September 24th, 2011. At 11 a.m., officers responded to 913 College Circle North, apartment B as in boy, in Wilson, North Carolina, for a welfare check on Bessie Vinson after a friend had not seen her in 2 days. The friend and landlord entered the residence. When they opened the door, the bedroom door, they found Vinson dressed, deceased on the bed. She was killed as a result of strangulation.
Golly day. That's a bad way to go.
That is a bad
That's a bad way to go. That is a bad way to go. You know, folks, if you know that your neighbor has, or friend has, certain habits of calling you every day, and for 2 or 3 days you don't hear from them, you don't see them, if you normally do, if you're a neighbor and the car don't move and you know they have habits and nothing's, you know, you think something is odd, don't just keep thinking about it. Call the authorities.
Yeah.
Call the police, because there could very well be, like in this case, 2 days, you know, 2 to 3 days is long enough. And of course it was too late, already strangled, laying in the bed. But
I've been on calls for service with the county where elderly people had fallen, and a day or two had gone by. Thank God they were still alive. But they had crawled around the house and couldn't get to a phone. They didn't have a medical alert. You know, so if it's in you that you haven't seen your neighbor, especially elderly people, you haven't seen them outside, you hadn't seen the car move, you hadn't seen any, please call 911 and report it. Because they could be in a bad way inside that residence, alive, and need some help, need some assistance.
Well, I think those medical alerts are pretty good from what I understand. I think they work.
They do.
I mean, pretty good, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, so that might be something that you might want to look into if you're a senior and you, I mean, I think it would be good for anybody if you were to fall, you know, as you're getting older and you're living by yourself, maybe, especially if you're living by yourself. It's a good thing to have. So, but anyway, back to this case. This was a case of murder, apparently. So 913 College Circle, apartment B. If you know anything, apparently, I don't know. It's hard to tell in this case if she would have known the perpetrator.
Suspect,
I don't know if she would have known him, or if it was doesn't say anything about robbery
or forced entry.
So it sounds like it was someone she knew.
Yeah, based on what we have access to, you know, it sounds like somebody that was invited in.
It does. So, okay. Well, we need to take a break. It's 8:35. We'll be right back with you with some more cases. And welcome back to the K-Files. We have we just talked about Bessie Marie Vincent, and we'll move on to Keith Lamar Johnson. We don't have a lot of details in this case.
Keith Lamar Johnson. This case is from January 15th, 2012. Keith Lamar Johnson. Officers responded to 1009 Randolph Street South in Wilson in reference to a cardiac arrest call. Keith Johnson was located inside the residence with multiple stab wounds. EMS pronounced him dead on the scene. Keith Lamar Johnson, January 15, 2012, found stabbed multiple times just inside his residence.
Well, I'm having a hard time. Why is it a cardiac arrest call?
Yeah, I'd want to know who called. What did
Yeah.
you see? I mean,
I mean,
there's a lot of
Did you not know
unknowns
he
here.
was stabbed?
Yeah.
I mean,
If he
it
was up
sounds
and
like
walking
they're
around, did
just
you see
saying
blood?
he's having a heart attack and calling 911 is what it sounds like. But
Yeah.
do you not see any blood, like you said, any stab wounds, any nothing? Wow. And these are some of we're getting into some of our older cases now, but just because they're older, law enforcement says they're not forgotten. The case is still open, and it's, I'm sure they've exhausted a lot of measures and a lot of effort in trying to solve the case, but they need your help. They need your help to solve this case with Keith Johnson in Wilson, North Carolina on Randolph Street.
And unfortunately, it's only a 2-sentence narrative of facts that we have.
Yes.
So that's all we can share with you.
But people talk. I mean, they commit crimes and they brag. They brag about it.
They do. They do. A lot of
Um,
people in a lot of circles, that's what they do.
Yes.
And that's true really with everybody. But with criminals, they like to brag about whose house they broke into.
Absolutely.
What crimes they perpetrated, things like that. Down in our end of the county, here within the past week or two, they just the sheriff's department just arrested an outfit out of Greenville that was traveling 264 daily to do B&Es in southern Nash County and then leaving going back to Greenville.
Oh gosh.
It's just like a robbery
Hate
ring.
those. Well, same thing happened at Doubletree. They were going around from car to car to car. 18 cars in one day, one night. It was night. 18 cars broke into at Doubletree. Well, they found out they were from Durham. It was a group from Durham coming here. Now see, I mean, this is what they do. And then they haul buggy
Yeah.
somewhere else, wherever they're from. So, folks, any crime, it doesn't have to be a murder that we're talking about, any crime you know of, you need to get these people, of course, for that, we talked about that too. They won't be put away, but for breaking and entering, they need to be arrested. They need to be arrested.
And folks come on TV and they're like, well, you know what, these people from Durham, they probably need some type of government help. They can't find a job. People will come out of the woodwork to make excuses.
Yes.
They had a bad childhood. They've got a lot of things going on with them systematically that you don't understand. Okay, time out. If they can get a car and they can manage
Yes.
transportation to come to Rocky Mount
That's right.
to perpetrate crime outside. Look, if they were caught shoplifting a loaf of bread at the local convenience store,
Yes.
I buy your argument.
Yep.
Okay, I get it.
Yep.
There's too many checks, balances, measures, programs in place to help people who need food,
Absolutely.
who need a place to live.
Yes.
Don't give me that junk. If they're traveling that far to perpetrate crime, especially violent crime, away from their home, there needs to be almost special legislation to hold that person to a higher punishment.
Yes.
Just my opinion.
I agree.
But no pity for me. You
No.
better hope I'm not sitting on your jury.
Well, everybody has, and you have an opportunity. No matter what your childhood, don't you want it to be better? Don't you want to be better than that? Don't you? Everybody has opportunities to do something. It doesn't matter if you're, if you're a waitress. It doesn't matter if you're the president of a corporation. Don't you want to be? And some of the stories that I hear of people, how they started, is amazing to where they are now. It is amazing
Mm-hmm.
because they realized I have an opportunity to do better and get out of this. And I can work hard and do that. You don't have to steal. You don't have to break in and take something that belongs to somebody else. Like you said, if you're hungry, there are programs.
Mm-hmm.
You can get food. They're giving it away every time you turn around, you know, at different various places. We're going to have a, you know, food giveaway today. I mean, it's all over the place. There's no reason. Go through social services. Do what you have to do. Go to the Salvation Army. But don't steal somebody else's stuff. I mean, that just really, don't take something that does not belong to you.
I don't know of a person that if they were approached at a fast food restaurant and they said, look, I don't want $1, I don't want $5, please, I'm about to starve, please, will you
Yes.
buy me? I don't know of a person that would not, they may not hand them money, I won't hand them money, but I don't know of a person that wouldn't buy that person a meal. I do not.
Well, you know, there is a restaurant in town that approached me. He said, I want to ask your opinion. What do you think about this? He said, I have people coming to my door needing food, homeless people, and I give it to them. He said, but I can't take on the world and still be in business. He said, so why don't we talk to the restaurants in town, this was an idea, and tell everybody, ask everybody, when you eat here, could you, and he said, I would put an extra button on my cash register that says, you know, giveaway. And he said, give $5 extra. When you pay your bill, could you afford $5 to pay extra to somebody else? And he said, I will put it in my register. It will be under this button, and we'll know how much we took in. And then when the homeless people come, I said, well, you know, you're kind of on to something. He's working on something like that. He's talking to restaurants and saying, let's ask customers if you can. You don't have to. But customers that can, would you put an extra $5?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, when they come to my door, I will say, I will gladly give you a meal if I know that you're homeless. So I said, well, at least you care, but at least, you know, those people are not stealing. They're asking, they're saying, I need help. Could you give me a meal? Instead of just, you know, breaking in cars and stealing people's stuff. I mean,
I draw the line at that point.
Totally, you know, I don't have any sympathy for you when you do that. So that's my soapbox. But anyway, done with that. Okay, we'll go on to the next. We've got time for a quick one.
Okay. This next case is Emmanuel Robert Gent. Emmanuel Robert Gent. This case is from May 21, 2012. Emmanuel, who was 26, was killed outside of a friend's home at 1414 Branch Street in Rocky Mount around 10 p.m. EMS arrived and pronounced Gent dead on the scene. The friend advised that two men, one wearing a red bandana over his face, a white t-shirt, and black pants, and another male wearing all black had approached them in an attempted robbery. They were both seen leaving the area on foot.
Okay. I wish I knew how many, and I still get some press releases today, crimes have been committed on Branch Street. I can't even tell you the number.
Yeah, that's a bad area, or has been a bad area in Rocky Mount for many years.
26 years old.
Cokie Road,
Yes.
Old Wilson Road.
Yeah, it's become a really bad area. Friend advised two men wearing a red bandana over his face, a white t-shirt, and black pants. And another male wearing black, all black. I mean, that's kind of scary. Oh,
Yep.
Gosh, that is so scary for somebody to just walk up to you and I guess they were, does it say they had a gun, they were armed? It just says robbery,
Right.
but I guess they were killed with a gun.
It doesn't say.
Dead on the scene is all it says.
Mhm.
So I guess it was a gun, not a, we talked about a couple of stabbings today, so I guess this one was a gun. But anyway, if you know anything about 1414 Branch Street, Emmanuel Robert Gent. This was a case from 2012. So if you know anything, please come forward. We need your help. $15,000, up to $15,000, and you know they will decide. Law enforcement will decide how valuable the tip is, and they will notify us accordingly and tell us how much money they think it's worth, up to $15,000. We give you cash. We go get cash out of the Team Cold Case account. That's why we have fundraisers for Team Cold Case. We get the money and we give it to you within 2 days, cash money. But you won't know who we are, and we won't know who you are. Law enforcement will give it to you. So, and they don't care. They don't care who you are. You're just a tipster to them. They just want to know. They just want the tip. That's all they want, and to give you the money.
And stop and think about how good it would feel to know, let's just say you shared a tip that tied them to a case.
Mm-hmm.
And in turn, it was enough to link that person to 2 or 3 more cold cases.
Oh gosh, yes.
You know, all because you had the courage, you found the courage to share a tip that you were hesitant to share.
And rest assured, JP, if they have not been caught, which this has been since 2012, they are doing it again and
There's
again.
no telling how
and
many
again.
cases.
They're just repeat offenders. So, okay, well that's all for today. On the K-Files, we'll see you back next week. Hopefully we might have a guest next week. So join us and have a great day, everybody.